I heard you're drowning in debt because of that hopeless infertility treatment. My ex-husband, whom I divorced a few years ago, approached me with a sarcastic smile. We ran into each other in this famous resort town, an unexpected place for an impromptu reunion. It's pathetic, no matter how hard you try, it's all in vain. He looked down on me and sneered. He got married right after our divorce, had children, and now lives in a happy family. He probably thinks he's got the better situation in life and enjoys mocking me. Who exactly are you talking about? I gently touched my slightly swollen belly. I wonder who really needed infertility treatment. Soon after, he would learn a shocking truth. No matter how much he freaked out or tried to cling to me, it was too late. This was the beginning of his downfall. The false happiness he gained through his own delusion started to crumble. Some gain happiness, others lose it. Our unplanned reunion clearly marked the difference between our present lives. My name is Emily. I work for a travel agency. I professionally recommend various vacation plans to our customers and arrange satisfying trips for them. I found this job to be very fulfilling. I married my husband, John, after dating at work. My husband, who had just been assigned as the new manager at my branch, was very gentle and always treated me with a kind heart. During busy seasons like summer vacations, we often worked late into the night together. Between work, we enjoyed talking and supported each other through tough times, gradually spending more and more time together. Eventually, we became aware of our feelings for each other, started dating, and then got married. After we got married, I was transferred to another branch. The travel agency work is tough with all the overtime, and you need to work so hard without complaints. Now that we're married, you can take it easy and be a stay-at-home wife if you want. I felt very fortunate for my husband's kindness in thinking about my well-being. However, I found fulfillment in my work and had a dream I was determined to achieve. I had lived frugally and saved money to pursue that dream. That's why I decided to keep working even after we got married. My husband respected my feelings. So, we both worked hard at our respective branches. We understood each other's work, and every night after we get home, we share a drink together, appreciating the little happiness we have. 2 years passed since we got married. I didn't think it would be difficult to get pregnant, right? After 2 years without conceiving, I started to feel a bit anxious. I lost my parents when I was still a student. Being an only child, I often felt lonely. That's why I always dreamt having a big family. So, after getting married, I hope to have at least 2 kids, if not a large family. Don't worry. I'm sure it will happen. My husband understood and comforted me. He was also on board with having children. I wonder if I'm sterile. Maybe I should go to the doctor and get checked. I looked down. Why are you getting so worried? It's going to be okay. But if you're concerned, go ahead and get checked out. Saying that, my husband gently patted my head. John always understands me. I feel so lucky that every time this happens, I nearly cry. After that, I went to a gynecologist and had some tests done. After numerous tests, nothing abnormal was found in my body. I'm glad nothing's wrong. My husband said, looking relieved as he saw the results. See? I told you, no need to worry. The baby will come when it's time. I've been comforted by his gentle smile so many times. I felt a great weight lift off my shoulders. Now they say there's a test for men. It's a quick one, so could you go during your break at work? I was pretty sure my husband had no issues either. But just to be sure, I wanted him to get tested. I am confident that my husband would gladly agree. I am certain of it. What? Why should I get tested? Infertility is obviously a woman's issue, so it would be pointless for me to do it. His response was completely unexpected. It might be unnecessary, but just to be sure. Even if there's a problem on the male side, there are treatments, so could you please take the test? My husband's expression darkened slightly. I could understand his reluctance to take the test. If something was found, it could hurt his pride as a man. This is a sensitive issue. I knew it wasn't good to push this too hard. It doesn't have to be right away. Just when you have some time. But my husband remained silent. In the end, the day passed without me getting an answer from him. One day, we visited my in-laws' house. It was my mother-in-law's birthday, and we brought a bouquet of flowers and a gift. When John was young, his father had an affair and then left him and his mom. Since then, his mother raised him on her own, doing a remarkable job. I've heard she went through a lot of hardships. This year, my mother-in-law turned 65 and retired from the job she had held for so long. She had worked tirelessly and raised John without neglecting anything. I respected her deeply as a woman. I wanted her to spend her time happily and peacefully from now on. That's what I hoped for. I was sure she would love the flowers and the gift. Certain of this, I opened the door to her house. "Oh, welcome." She greeted us with a bright smile. "Oh, what beautiful flowers. And this is a bath set, isn't it? I'm so glad you remembered how much I love baths." As I expected, she's very pleased. The three of us were supposed to enjoy a pleasant time together. However, I appreciate the gifts and flowers, but I'd really like to see a grandchild soon. With that one comment, the mood completely changed. I didn't know how to respond, so I glanced at my husband. But he remained silent. "Emily, I know you're busy with work, but some things are more important. You need to take care of your body and focus on having a child. There are fertility treatments available these days, after all. I've already been taking care of my body. I've even had tests done. The results showed no issues at all. I want to hold a sweet grandchild in my arms soon. Emily, I'm counting on you." My mother-in-law feels the same way. Why does everyone assume that infertility is a woman's fault? Why doesn't anyone say anything to my husband? Yes. I couldn't argue back. I was afraid that arguing would damage my relationship with her. I wanted my husband to explain things. But he stayed silent the entire time. It felt like everyone thought the reason we don't have children is entirely my fault. "I'm hoping that by my birthday next year, you'll be expecting a baby." Those words weighed heavily on me. Being given a deadline made me even more anxious. I kept telling myself not to let it bother me, but her words kept repeating in my head. I couldn't remember anything from the conversation after that. That evening, we left my in-laws' house. On the way home, I walked silently beside my husband. The setting sun cast our long shadows on the sidewalk. I kept my eyes on those shadows as we walked. My husband's shadow stayed facing straight ahead. What is he thinking right now? How did he take what his mom said today? I wanted to ask, but I couldn't. No, I was too scared to ask. I was afraid of feeling devastated by his words again. We returned home in silence. "I'm starving. Let's have dinner soon." My husband acted like nothing had happened. He probably planned to get through the day without addressing my feelings. I finally mustered the courage to speak. "Hey, John, about what your mom said today." He gave me the same smile as always. "Huh? What are you talking about? Was that smile fake?" "She said she wants a grandchild." I looked directly at him. "Yeah, but since it's not happening, we just have to wait, right?" "No, that's not what I wanted to say. You told me to consider fertility treatment and think about my health over work. But I've already taken care of myself and got tested, and there was nothing wrong." My husband's expression gradually changed. "Why didn't you say anything then? It's like everything's my fault." "It's not me who's avoiding the issue, it's you, John, isn't it?" I didn't mean to say it like that. But once I started, the words just kept flowing. All the frustration I'd been holding in suddenly exploded. "What's with all this testing talk? I keep telling you, infertility is a woman's issue. And my mom wasn't wrong. I'm not the one at fault here." My husband yelled, his face red with anger. He is completely different from the usual John that I know. I know it's not your fault, John. We're not going to play the blame game. I just want to move forward. If we need treatment, we have to start with testing. No matter how much we argued, we couldn't accept each other's points, and we were stuck in a stalemate. This is too much. I'm hungry, I'm going out to eat. With that, my husband left the house. I was left alone in the quiet house. Suddenly, all the strength drained from my body, and I collapsed onto the sofa. The image of my husband's angry face replayed in my mind. Was it my fault? Did I make my kind husband so angry? This isn't what I wanted. I just wanted him to understand. I wanted us to work together to build our future. That's why taking the testing is important. I couldn't stop crying. In the quiet room, the only sound was my sobbing. The next morning, my husband returned home in silence. You said you were just going out to eat. Where did you spend the night? I was worried. He didn't even look at me. Nowhere special. With just that one word, he left for work. This was our first big fight. Sometimes these things happen. I thought he'd be in a better mood by tonight. With that thought, I headed to work, but I couldn't stop sighing all morning. But John's mood didn't improve, it's been several days. He started leaving the house earlier and coming home later than usual. On the weekends, he would leave without a word and come back when I'm already sleeping. The time we used to spend together as a couple completely vanished. It felt like he doesn't want to see me anymore. I don't even know how to approach him anymore. Eventually, this silent life became our new normal. I could no longer remember the times when we cherished our moments together. What led us to this point? Was suggesting the test really that wrong? And finally, he stopped coming home altogether. You haven't been coming home much lately. Where have you been staying? We started having conversations with our backs to each other. Work has been hectic, and I keep missing the last train, so I've been staying at an Airbnb near the office. He, too, had his back turned to me. I see. Then he headed to the bedroom. At some point, the couch in the living room became my bed. Saying he's missing the last train because of work is a strange excuse, no matter how you look at it. It's not even the busy season yet. My husband is hiding something. My suspicions became a reality a few weeks later. My husband started coming home every few days, handing me a pile of laundry. Then he would pack his freshly washed clothes into his bag and hurry off again. He could at least do his own laundry with this much. Muttering to myself, I tossed his laundry into the washing machine. Suddenly, I heard something drop with a clink. I looked at the floor but saw nothing. But I was sure I heard something. I strained my eyes, searching again. What had fallen? When I stepped back, something shiny caught my eye near my feet. This is it. What could it be? I picked up the shiny object and held it in my hand. What? I was at a loss for words. The object shining in my palm was an earring. For a moment, my mind went blank, but it wasn't as shocking as I expected. It was obvious from the moment he stopped coming home. My husband is having an affair. Deep down, I had suspected it. But I have been too afraid to face the truth and just tried to ignore it. I just didn't want to hurt myself. But now reality is in the palm of my hand and I couldn't run away anymore. I decided to confront John openly. I decided to gather proof of his affair and end our marriage. The next day, I went to a private investigator. A few days later, my husband's affair was confirmed. The other woman was a new employee at the branch where my husband worked. She had joined the company around the time our marriage started falling apart, a young, attractive new hire. My husband used his smooth tone and gentle smile to charm her. As her mentor, they got closer and eventually started an affair. I also learned for the first time that my husband had been involved with multiple female employees over the years. In his position as a manager, he would use sweet talk to get close to women and deepen their relationship. That's his clever tactic. I was just another woman who fell for his tricks. He probably chose to marry me because I'm convenient for him. Anger welled up inside me. I decided it was time to end this chapter of my life. I made up my mind. That night, he came home with his usual load of laundry. You don't have to come all the way home. Why not have her do your laundry at her place? I spoke to his back. He stopped and turned around. What are you talking about? I told you, it's just work. He gave me a cold stare. So, is this part of your job too? What exactly are you teaching this female employee after hours? I threw a few photos towards him. The photos showed both of them leaving the office and entering the apartment where the female employee lived alone. What is this? My husband couldn't hide his shock. Come on. Don't pretend like you don't know. I've looked into everything already. And wasn't she looking for this earring? It got caught on your shirt. He froze as he looked at the earring on my hand. I never thought you were such a womanizer. Let's just end this. Now you can be with her openly. With that, I handed him the divorce papers. A quiet moment passed as he stared at the divorce papers in shock. Then suddenly, he started laughing. What's this, sour graping? Are you bitter because you can't have kids? If you have time to take these photos, why don't you focus on getting pregnant instead? I couldn't believe what he was saying. Who's the one being bitter here? I struggled to suppress the anger rising inside me. Divorce? I'm all for it. She's pregnant, and I've been planning to leave you anyways. I'm only thinking about my new family now. To cheat and then get the other woman pregnant, what a pathetic man. I was at a loss for words. And so, we divorced. It was an abrupt ending. He left, taking only the bare essentials. I decided to move out of the apartment we shared. After canceling the lease, I started cleaning out the place. I put everything he left behind into trash bags. I didn't feel the slightest bit of regret. Just then, the doorbell rang. Who could it be at a time like this? I slowly opened the front door. A man was standing outside. His hair was untidy, and he was wearing dirty clothes. I have never seen him before. The man tried his best to be presentable and began to speak. I was shocked by what he said. 3 years have already passed. After the divorce, I continued to save money, and I finally reached my financial goal. I was able to make my dream come true, and I quit my job at the travel agency. One day, I was walking through a famous resort town, one of the most well-known in the US. The town is known for its flourishing local dining scene, arts and entertainment, maritime history, and family-friendly attractions. The town has its own unique districts that offer experiences for everyone to enjoy. It's no surprise the oceanfront and 3-mile boardwalk is the center of the action in town. As I enjoyed a walk in the pleasant weather, I heard a familiar voice call my name from behind. Who could it be? I turned around and was shocked into silence by who I saw. It was my ex-husband John, the one I divorced 3 years ago. Didn't expect to run into you here. On a solo trip? That's pathetic. My ex-husband was wearing work clothes. He had grown a scruffy beard, and his hair was messy. I wondered if he had quit his job at the travel agency. I never expected to run into him here. My pleasant walk was completely ruined. I heard you're drowning in debt because of that hopeless infertility treatment. He approached me with a sarcastic smile. It's pathetic, no matter how hard you try, it's all for nothing. He looked down on me and sneered. He probably wanted to show off that he's happy now with a new wife and a child. He probably thinks he's got the better situation in life and enjoys mocking me. Who exactly are you talking about? I gave him a cold stare. I heard from the landlord of our old place. Sounds like you're in debt. Apparently, some guy came by to collect after I moved out. You took on a lot of debt for expensive fertility treatments, and in the end, all you have is a mountain of debt, right? The guy he's talking about is the man who visited me after the divorce, while I was cleaning out the apartment alone after he left. Debt? You're mistaken. But sometimes, it's better to be mistaken. I revealed the truth to him, whose expression darkened slightly. It was a shocking truth for him. 3 years ago, after our divorce, while I was cleaning out the apartment for the move, a man did visit. But he wasn't there to collect a debt, he was actually John's father. The father, who I'd heard run off with another woman long ago, had come looking for him. It seems he had found out about the apartment where we lived as a married couple. But by then, we were already divorced and had cancelled the lease. So, with the nameplate and mailbox name removed, his father couldn't find the apartment number and had to ask the landlord who lived on the first floor. At that time, his father only gave the landlord John's last name and said, "I want to meet him because he owes me money." The landlord, thinking it was a debt collector, immediately contacted me. When I was informed of the visitor, I told the landlord, "Let him in, I'll meet him." The landlord loves gossip, and I was afraid of any strange rumors spreading. So the landlord, truly believing John's father was a debt collector, probably relayed the story to my ex-husband when they happened to meet. John took the story seriously. The reason his father visited was to ask for money. His father had been abandoned by his mistress and was struggling to make ends meet. So he somehow tracked down John's whereabouts and came to ask for money. Not knowing we were divorced, he politely asked for John. But as a divorced woman, this had nothing to do with me. This man wasn't my relative or anything. I gave him his contact information so he could ask him directly. And then his father left. When he heard this story, my ex-husband turned red with anger. "You gave him my contact information?" Since then, I've been hounded with inquiries about supporting him. In the resort town, where laughter could be heard all around, John's angry voice rang out. Why should I support him? He abandoned me and my mom. Now he suddenly shows up asking for money? That's way too convenient. It's no wonder he's angry. His father is being completely selfish. But I have no sympathy for him. Then my wife said she didn't want to deal with a troublesome father-in-law and even talked about divorcing me. That's unfortunate. But I convinced her to give our marriage another chance for the sake of our baby, and in the end, we agreed that I would help with her family's business. I glanced at the logo on his work uniform. From the company name, it seemed that his wife's family ran a cleaning business. He had given up his position as a branch manager at a travel agency and was now working as a cleaner, cleaning vacation houses every day. His entire income from the cleaning job was managed by his wife, so he didn't have a penny to spend freely. It seemed his wife knew about his womanizing ways and made him quit his job at the travel agency so he could work under her parents' watchful eyes. I was impressed by how responsible she was, despite being so young. She's quite the strong woman. But it's rare to see a wife put such restrictions on her husband. Could there be another reason? He suddenly went quiet, and his face turned pale. What? Do you know something about me that I don't know? Actually, it's nothing. There was just one thing that had been on my mind. Are you sure the child with your wife is really yours? I said this while gently rubbing my slightly swollen belly. He stared at my belly, frozen in place. It was as if time had stopped just for him. The truth is, I'm pregnant. It turns out, just like the test results said, there was nothing wrong with my body after all. Since the divorce, I had been living a life far removed from what my ex-husband imagined. And that life was filled with happiness. With that, I was about to enter the luxury inn in front of me. But then. Wait. Please listen to me. John pleaded, trying to stop me. But I didn't owe him any more of my time. I don't think we hired your cleaning services, so don't come in. He looked at me with a bewildered expression. What do you mean we? Who are you to this inn? I didn't need to say more, but I decided to give him one last piece of information. I'm the owner of this inn. His face completely turned pale. My parents love this resort town. When I was a child, our family often stayed at a small inn in this town. The inn, filled with our memories, was very old and had fallen into disrepair, overshadowed by the newer, larger inns nearby. Eventually, it became difficult to manage, and it closed temporarily. My dream is to buy this inn. I saved most of my income from the travel agency and lived frugally until I reached my savings goal. Using my savings and the inheritance from my parents, I bought the inn, renovated it, and reopened it. Drawing on my experience at the travel agency, I created an inn that was comfortable for everyone, from young people to the elderly, men and women alike. The inn's reputation quickly spread. And now, it joined the ranks of the most popular luxury inns in Virginia Beach, with my total assets reaching almost $3 million. The inn is especially known for its food. The menu is tailored to each guest, and the meals are served with care. Many guests return just for the food. The food is a testament to the chef's dedication and commitment to pleasing others. I was drawn to the chef's compassionate nature, and we grew closer to each other. Eventually, I married him. After getting married, I got pregnant right away. I had nothing more to say to my ex-husband. I turned my back on him. Please, wait. He's probably just trying to stop me for money. He is nothing to me now. I owe him nothing. I have nothing more to say to you. Don't ever show your face around here again. With that, I dismissed him and entered the inn. John tried to follow me into the inn, but the staff stopped him and threw him out. His voice calling my name grew fainter and eventually disappeared. Our unexpected reunion marked a turning point in both of our lives. A few weeks later, a letter addressed to me arrived at the inn. I was surprised when I saw the sender. It was John. Everything between us should have been over. I nervously opened the envelope, wondering what he could want now. The letter was filled with his distinctive handwriting, so there was no doubt it was from him. The letter contained shocking news. Here's what it said. After our last conversation, he began to suspect that he might be the cause of the infertility and asked his wife if their child was really his. Of course, his wife insisted the child was his, but John felt something was off because the child looked nothing like him. After repeatedly confronting his wife, she finally confessed. The child he thought was his turned out to be the child of another man, someone she had dated in college. After graduating from college and starting her job at the travel agency, she quickly caught my ex-husband's eye, and they began a relationship. But for her, it was just a fling. Her true love was the boyfriend she had met in college. She became pregnant by her boyfriend and thought about marriage, but when he found out, he disappeared. As a new graduate, she was anxious about having a child and felt unable to handle the responsibility. Fearing the stigma of being a single mother, she lied, claiming the child was John's and married him to secure a stable life. After their marriage, when she learned that his father had abandoned his family for a mistress, it reminded her of her own past, when her boyfriend left her. To control John, who had a wandering eye, she threatened divorce to keep him close. She made him work under her parents, managed his salary, and didn't allow him any spending money. John, who's already frustrated with his restricted life, went mad when he learned the truth. Daily arguments started, and he chose to divorce. But his in-laws, who sided with their daughter, refused to allow the divorce. Despite this, he decided to leave, fleeing from his wife. As a result, he had very little money. He had no place to stay and was reportedly moving from one place to another. Without a suit and with a shabby appearance, he struggled to find a job. He's always working hard labor jobs, just getting by with enough money for food each day. The letter said he wanted to go back to the way things were. The idea that he wants to get back together with me is ridiculous. Sure, his situation is pathetic, but he chose that path. The fertility tests, the cheating, and the way he mocked me when we met again. He is always selfish, never considering my feelings. But I'm not the person I was back then. I have a bright future with my new husband and the baby we're expecting. I told him through my lawyer that if he ever tries to contact me or show up again, I'll file a restraining order. Then I tore up his letter. I'm due to give birth next month. I'm both excited to meet the baby and nervous about my first delivery. But my loving husband is always there to encourage me, and we're getting through it together. He's always concerned about my health and helps with the chores on his days off, so I know everything will be fine. Today is his day off. We're walking along the beach together, enjoying the changing seasons, then we'll soak our feet in the water and take a deep breath. It's our favorite walking route. Oh. The baby just kicked. When I said that, my husband quickly placed his hand on my belly. He gently started talking to the baby. This happiness isn't something I take for granted. That's why I want to cherish it. And so, I took another deep breath of the salty air in this town surrounded by happiness.